Motive behind bomber Omar's video expose. Jasir backed out as suicide bomber. He was not willing to carry out or be a part of a suicide bombing attack. He was against dying in a car blast. He said dying in fire is un-Islamic. Omar shot and recorded video to brainwash. Omar's aim convinced suicide bombers. Omar rehearsed and recorded these videos, but Danish was not convinced. Jasir, alias Danish, was not convinced. And that's the reason why perhaps this video was made by Omar to convince Danish and others that it is okay to carry out a suicide mission in that sense, and that if you know that death is the only, is the only reality, then there was no harm in carrying out a suicide attack. That was the road to martyrdom, is what Omar said in that particular video that he had put out on your screens. Jasir Wani was in fact reluctant, calling his suicide bombing un-Islamic. Dying by fire was un-Islamic, is what Jasir Wani believed in, and that's the reason why he backed out, is what we are learning. Bomber Omar said Jasir Wani backed out. He was against dying in a car blast. So all of this was planned. However, Wani was not convinced. Danish, alias Jasir Wani, said that dying in fire is un-Islamic. The man, a resident of Kazigand in Anantnag, was arrested in Srinagar by the National Investigation Agency. He was identified and is believed to be the active co-conspirator of suicide bomber Omar Nabi. He was providing technical support to modify drones, attempt rocket making ahead of the deadly blast. He used to make powerful drones fitted with large batteries that carry heavy bombs along with cameras, is what the agencies indicated. However, he was not happy to be a part of suicide bombing. He was against dying by using fire. I'm going to go across straight to Munish, getting in more on that big story. Danish, alias Jasir Bilal Wani, Munish, was in fact reluctant to be a part of the suicide bombing mission here, and that's the reason why Omar seems to have made that video. What else are you learning from your sources?
Well, Sneha, one thing is very clear looking at the video that Dr. Omar Nabi, he was a highly radicalized person. That is very clear. He is justifying, being a fidain. That is, he is justifying being a suicide bomber. And this is going to be a very clinching evidence as far as the entire investigation is concerned, because there were multiple theories that whether this was an attack in panic committed by Dr. Omar Nabi or whether it was a plan. One thing is very certain, that after the raids were conducted at the premises linked to Dr. Umar Nabi, and when the explosives were recovered by the Jammu and Kashmir police, indeed he was in panic. He knew that it is only a matter of time when the authorities will knock his door also and he will be arrested, and that is why he had to commit this particular act. But he was a very crucial part of the module, not only in terms of being a suicide bomber, but also in terms of preaching the others. Now, what we are learning from our sources is that in this video, he is talking, justifying, being a fidain. He's also justifying that there are time and location when your death has been fixed by God. These are the things he's talking about in this video. So he's a highly radicalized person. Also, the person we are talking about, Danish or Jasveer Wani, he is someone who was providing technical support to the other terrorist in the module, but he was not someone who wanted to give away his life. He is saying that it is completely un-Islamic to die in a fire, and that is why it is suspected that he is the one who backed out. Now he has been arrested by the National Investigative Agency. So the entire module is slowly and slowly being uncovered by the national investigative agencies. We now have the technical support person who was involved in teaching and making the bombs. The other person, Dr. Umar, who was involved in the terror attack. Also, there are other accused like Dr. Muzammil, Dr. Shaida, who were also part of the module. So these are some clinching evidence, and NIA has been able to uncover the mask of this module, but it is suspected, Sneha, but that there are other accused as well in the case who have to be nabbed by the NIA very soon.
Right, these are investigations which are underway, we understand, Munish. But this is the man, Jasir Wani, alias Danish, who was in fact planning, Munish, to carry out suicide, Hamas-like attacks using drones, which would have the potential to carry heavy weapons and bombs as well as batteries, and that was his specialization, is what we are learning. The technology and the assistance that he was trying to provide was for air attacks in the national capital. So there were two kinds of attacks that were getting planned here.
Multiple attacks, Neha, multiple attacks, because the amount of explosives recovered by the Jammu and Kashmir during the searches in the Faridabad, more than 2,000 kilograms of ammonium nitrate was recovered by the police. Apart from that, 900 kilograms of other substance which were supposed to be used in making those explosives. So it was a planned attack. They were planning something extremely big, maybe multiple, attacks in the national capital, and all those theories were being explored by these terrorists to how to carry out the attacks. Not only the cars, because what we saw in the month of October, multiple cars were also purchased by these accused, be it the I-20, be it the EcoSport car or be it the Brezza. Apart from that, also there are evidence now which has been uncovered by the National Investigative Agency that they were also planning to, manufacture armed drone also. And in Operation Sindoor, we saw that what armed drones can do, when it is left in an open space. Apart from that, they were also planning to, conduct some rocket strikes in the national capitals. So there were multiple strikes. It was something, Sneha, which was planned at a very, very massive scale, massive level in the national capital. And that is why, if you go by the amount of recoveries made by the Jammu and Kashmir police in this case, more than 2,000 kilograms of ammonium nitrate, it is huge. It is huge as far as any terror activity is concerned. It was Jammu and Kashmir police which not only busted this module at a time, at a very right time, but also they were able to arrest the main culprit of this terror module. As far as Umar Nabi is concerned, he is someone who wanted to be a Fidain. He is someone who wanted to be a suicide bomber, and I has made it very clear that he is a suicide bomber. Maybe the location which was chosen by Umar Un Nabi was not the right location because it was a slow moving traffic, and around 6:50 in the evening around Lal Killa when this terrorist strike happened. But Sneha, if it was a plan, then they must have chosen a close premises where the damage could have been huge. So that is very clear that it was an attack in panic, but of course they were planning something very massive, very big, Sneha.
Be with us, Munish. I'll come back to you for more on that. Munish Pandey on that, giving us all of those details as far as this attack is concerned and the workings of the mind of the terrorist Omar, who was interested in being a Fidain, a suicide bomber. However, we have Jasir Wani as well, who was not willing to be a part of this mission as far as the suicide bombing is concerned.